everyone, and welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's Lions postgame. A victory over the Vikings, 31-29, and a last-minute field goal by Jake Bates. A couple little hiccups there by the offense and the defense, fumbles.
It seemed to me
and
they
other
played
things.
like crap in the first quarter, crap in the fourth quarter. Again, though, when clutch came to clutch, final drive, put themselves in position, and Bates kicked the big field goal that won the game. I was, the way the game started, I thought Minnesota was going to rout us.
When I woke up, I woke up about halfway through the first, a little bit after, maybe 3/4 of the way through the first. I was like, oh, well, this is it.
But you're right. I mean, we settled down. We handed them 14 points in this game. We definitely were the better team. Without Hutch, we were the better team. Our defense played great. The 29 points, you can chop off 14 of that because Dan Campbell's moronic fourth down call in the first quarter, and it was dumb. I don't care what anyone says. It's just dumb, dumb, dumb. Even if it works, it's still dumb. You just got lucky. And a game like this, you don't do that. Your first quarter, it's not even 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. It's like 4th and 10 or something.
I don't know. I was asleep during whatever that play was.
Ridiculously stupid, and handed them 7 points to start the game. And then, like I said, the fumble at the end. So, the defense did its job, and the offense almost didn't do their job, but they did just enough.
Well, I mean,
Goff played incredibly well.
22 for 25
from the second quarter, third quarter.
And he played the whole game good. He was 22 for 25. Didn't have an incompletion until the third quarter. He went through the first half of the game.
I can't blame him so much.
280 yards, 2 TDs. Rushing wise, Gibbs had a great day. 15 carries for 116 yards, average 7.7, 2 TDs. And St. Brown led your team in receiving yards today. Had 8 catches for 112 and a touchdown. One guy who didn't really see anything was Jamison Williams. He only had 1 catch for -4. He's been our top for the whole season, and now he had one bad game. Today, only getting 1 target.
I'm going to start sitting him. I got him on my fantasy team because I just learned today I don't pay attention to anything that goes on, and I'm supposed to be part of this podcast. But Amari Cooper is on the Buffalo Bills.
You didn't realize he got traded?
Receiver. Suddenly you figure, I looked at him, I did my fantasy lineup today, and I'm like, wait a second, I got a pretty darn good wide receiver on a pretty darn good team. I should play him more.
But overall, they did good. They did good today. I would say offensively, they did good today.
Guy, you can't. How can you complain about one thing? You can say, okay, all these things. We went into a hostile environment. They were rested, waiting for us. They knew what this game meant. I mean, everything was against us in this game. I expected Minnesota to beat us. I had this down for a loss. And
how it was going? I mean, Sam Darnold didn't even play a bad game today. He was 22 for 27, 159 yards, threw a TD. Brian Branch had his 1 interception,
right,
which helped you out massively. And you did get to him 4 times. You have 4 sacks without Hutchinson.
Right. I mean, it was pretty remarkable what that defense did today. And that's what I was shocked. I was almost sure that Minnesota was going to eat us alive.
You probably had your worst rushing day against you. They had 139 rushing yards on you. But for my sake, I have Aaron Jones on my fantasy team, so I didn't mind him getting those yards.
With the absence of Hutch here, I'm just simply looking at points. And that defense gave up 15 points today. Yeah, like I said, whatever you want to say, they did their job. This is an offensive team now. It was before, but it's even more so now without Hutch.
But that is what you need to do, though.
Our offense has to carry our team.
That you need to beat Minnesota today because the rest of their games are not difficult at all.
It is a monster win.
They have the Rams, the Colts, the Jaguars, the Titans. They might not have another big matchup until, funny enough, the Bears, who none of us expected to be decent.
Play Green Bay again, right?
Yeah, but not till the second to last game of the year.
Their big games are all division
their final 4 games of the year, I would say, are going to be their biggest games because they're going to play the Bears, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Lions.
Right. Their biggest.
Luckily
games
for
are
them,
against
both
their
the
division.
luckily for them, both the Bears and the Packers games are at home for them at that time of year. So there's their luck. You
Right.
have to go to Seattle. You have to come to Detroit at the end of the year. But
I
but
still think they'll stumble a couple of times, even against
me,
mediocre
but
competition.
it's what you need to do next week. You can. I'm not going to say take your foot off the gas, but you can kind of breathe a little. You're facing the Tennessee Titans, who are 1-5 right now.
You got to win that.
You got to win.
Beat those.
You got to win.
Those are must games.
But you are
even
not
more so than today. To a point, this is a monster win because I really didn't think it would happen, and we just basically told Minnesota, "You're not the best team in our division." We slapped them down. We just said you had everything. Everything was set up for you to win this game.
If it does show you anything, with how close the game was, right? Remember, Minnesota barely beat the Packers. So skill wise, it might not be that far off between everybody in the division. We're just that tiny bit better currently looking at things. But when you fully look at it, it's not going to be an easy rest of the year for the Lions either. Even though they play the Titans, they're going to play the Packers in Lambeau in a couple weeks. They're going to go to Houston and play Sunday Night Football. You're going to come home to play, luckily again, another quick breather against the Jaguars. And then you're going to go play the Colts.
I'm not really worried. I'm looking at almost 4 straight wins. What I saw them do to the Packers today, or not Packers, the Vikings. I no longer fear what we'll do against the Packers. I think we can beat those guys. And in that Lambeau, I was a little worried, like I said, without Hutch, that those 2 games. I mean, but I'm not worried now.
Realistically,
I think, like I said, this team is resilient, and I am almost 99.9% rid of my same old Lions. I'm no longer an SOL fan.
Realistically, looking at the rest of the schedule, they are the better team, and maybe just not a couple of the matchups. I would say the Texans, possibly the Bills. But for the most part, you play how you played against the Vikings, who were considered by some people to be the best team right now because of their undefeated streak. That's the number one team.
I mean, we just beat. I mean, this win today, all its mistakes, and as dominant as we were last week, this was a more satisfactory win. This is against your divisional rival, who up to this point was the best team in the NFC.
And with you winning today, you have now owned a tiebreaker to the Vikings, and you have solidified yourself as the number 1 spot in the NFC North. Again, you're still tied with the Minnesota Vikings, who you're now also technically tied with the Green Bay Packers at 5-2. And if the Bears win tonight, then all 4 teams are at 5 wins.
Isn't that crazy? This is a hell of a division.
You have 2 teams at 5. You have 2 teams at 5-1, 2 teams at 5-2. If the Bears win tonight,
I think one of the pluses of today, the only thing I could say that was to our advantage that I thought is Darnold is not that much of a scrambler, and he's not that much of a runner. I think we're still going to have some problems against Jordan Love and Caleb Williams and those type of quarterbacks the rest of the way out. Next week, we don't play much of a scrambler either, and the guy's got off.
Oh yeah, Will Levis.
We'll talk about that.
Actually, no, you might not be facing Will Levis. You might be facing Mason Rudolph. To be honest, but
actually, he's better than probably Mason Rudolph.
So we'll talk about that in a pregame for next week. But so far,
I wanted him to be Goff's pick,
but it was a good game overall by the Lions. We feel good about it. You can keep on going with the momentum. You beat a good team next week. You should beat down on a bad team and hopefully get your mood up to go beat the Packers in Lambeau.
It was a great win. As many things as you can complain about as far as the game goes, to come out of that place with a win, considering everything that's happened to you this week, and it's the best. I mean, best win of the year so far.
Yeah,
so we can keep it going.
Nothing more you can ask for except to keep on winning and get yourself. The more you get, right, you are solidifying yourself as that playoff team by even beating the Vikings right now. That gives you a good chance because you are going to probably win about, I'm going to say confidently, you'll win about 5 more games this year against your opponents. Right. So
I think what you did too with them is you just showed them, because I think going into this game, a lot of people thought the Vikings were going to dethrone you, and you just I'm telling you, if it wasn't for those 2 hiccups, that stupid 4th down call by Dan Campbell and that fumble, we would have beat them badly.
Yes, you probably
we were the better team today for at least 3 quarters.
And to think about it, Minnesota had not trailed in a game for more than 2 minutes, or really 3 minutes before today. So, and you were ahead for almost half the game on them.
Right.
The Minnesota has not trailed that much this all this season.
I could not be more proud of Aaron Glenn and his defense. But that was a phenomenal job today.
But good game by the Lions. We'll end it here. So, if you'd like to see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. And until next time, hope to see everybody
soon. See you, Vikings.